Hey guys, Joseph Palmer here. What I've got for you today is a 2008 Malibu with a 2.4 Ecotec, and it is throwing codes for the intake cam actuator. This is a variable valve timing engine, and I'm going to show you how to replace the cam actuators. Now, the biggest cause for this on these engines is dirty oil. Keep your oil changed. Generally, you're not going to have this issue if you let it run overdue for oil changes or you don't use the correct oil in it. These engines do gunk up. You will have issues with cam actuators. You will have issues with timing sets. It's not a matter of if, it is when. So this car, like I said, it's only got 111,000 miles on it. We should not be seeing these problems with these cars, or this problem with this car. So I've got an intake and an exhaust cam actuator. They're both Delco. Since we're having problems with the intake cam actuator, we're going to replace them both just to keep this thing from coming back and visiting us again for a similar problem. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure here. So I've already run some seafoam through the engine, drain the oil. I'm going to do an oil change on it, so it's drained. I've got to change the filter. We're going to change the cam actuators, fill it back up with oil, and make sure it doesn't throw the code again. Yesterday when I was test driving it, clear the codes out, take it for a test drive, it would immediately throw the code again. So it did this. I cleared the code twice, it threw the code twice. So we're going to get to work. I'm going to set you right there. And first step, we are going to get our battery cable disconnected. Just a 10 millimeter. Just take the negative off. Cheap insurance here. Okay, tuck it out of the way. We'll clean that up before we put it back on. Now, over here, we got an 8 millimeter right there. Loosen that clamp. Actually, I'm going to unclamp it here to the gearbox. Loosen that one. Then got a hose clamp right here. Part of the PCV system. Now you got to be real careful because it attaches to plastic, which is not the greatest thing in the world. Get a little twist and just kind of wiggle it off. Don't pull hard. You'll break that nipple off. Okay, that's off. Now, down underneath, I'm going to get a light on it here, there is a hose clamp. Hopefully you guys can see this. That hose clamp right back in there that clamps it down the intake. That has to come off as well. So, I'm going to pause this for a second. There, we'll keep it running. Okay. It also is a 5/16 or an 8 millimeter. It's just a matter of finding it. Okay, that's loose. Now this whole cover should just lift off. Like that. Now, trying to get a good angle for you, because these two right here are your cam actuators. Intake, exhaust, they are marked. Now, I am going to take a yellow paint marker and mark this intake. With an I, and put an E on the exhaust, and because you can get them reversed. I've done it before. You get them reversed. You get them reversed and this thing will not run right and it'll throw all kinds of coats. So I'm going to go grab my new actuators. I will be right back. I'm going to let that paint dry a minute. Alright guys, if you notice I put the oil cap back in. You have to have the oil cap out to get this top engine cover off. It holds it down. But before I go any farther, I'm going to start taking the cam actuators out. Take a compressed air. Blow all the dirt out from around them. You don't want any of that going down in the engine. And then, just so you guys know, 12679-099 is your intake actuator. That's a GM AC Delco part number. And a 12679-100 is the exhaust cam actuator. So those are your AC Delco numbers. That way, if you're wondering, you got the part number. Now, to get these off, they're just push-a-lot connectors. Pretty simple. And then all it takes to get them out, two 10 millimeters right there and there. So, okay. Okay, get those loose. Pull out the little bolt, and then just kind of wiggle and pull. Be careful with them, but you are replacing them, so get that bolt out of there. Okay. Sometimes you use a trim panel tool with a fork on it. You kind of get under the connector and just gently wiggle it up and get it to pop loose. You don't want to put too much pressure on them and end up breaking them, but just wiggle them and they'll pop loose. So we'll pull the intake out first. That's what it looks like. And you can see these screens. Let's see. See how it's got crap stuck in the screen? There's grit all over it. That's what happens when you run dirty oil. You can see a big old chunk of crud. So, a rag here. I got something to sit them on. Okay. That's the intake. And they do come with a new bolt. I use just a little bit of dielectric grease on the O-ring. That way, make sure you get it. You get some oil or anything on this O-ring. You don't want to put it in dry and pinch it. And then wiggle it right back down in the hole. Line up your bolt. And it'll pop in. You'll hear it snap as the O-ring seats. Same deal with the exhaust. Pick it up. The exhaust side actually still looks clean, but we're going to replace it anyway. Like I said, when you got one that goes out, the other one's probably not too far behind. They're all lubed up. Wiggle it in there. Here it snapped. It's seated. Now, I'm going to use the nut runner to tighten them down so I don't over torque them, because these do not take much torque to tighten them down. There we go. Same deal there. Those are tight. We'll get the old parts out of here. Now, plug them back in. That's done. Now, trick to putting these engine covers back on. Let's spin this around. This boot that goes on the intake to help it slide on, just a fine film of a little bit of Vaseline, dielectric grease, anything like that to help them slide on. Makes the job 10 times easier, especially considering you can't really see what you're doing. And get the air intake on first, and then you can kind of use the oil filter hole to line it up. Push it down. Get everything else locked in. Reconnect your hose. Get the clamp back in place. And then it's just a matter of tightening down your two hose clamps. The one you took loose here on the intake, over by the air box, get that good and tight, and then get up underneath it here. And get this one good and tight. And double check everything. Put your oil cap back on. And we're ready to start it up. Oh, no, we're not. Don't forget to reconnect your battery. Actually, that doesn't look too bad. Oh, I think it's stiff. Alright, we're ready to cheat. There we go. It's good and tight. We'll double check. That one's good and tight. We'll start it up and then we'll recheck our oil. Alright guys, running long enough for the oil pressure to come up, and it may read just a little bit low since we've got a bunch of it up in the engine at the moment. Yeah, we're reading down at the minimum mark, so I'm going to give it a couple minutes and recheck it. But you want to make sure you do that, that way it pushes oil up into the oil filter housing and fills it back up. So, like I said, I'm going to wait a couple minutes, I'm going to recheck it. Let me turn that off. But guys, do me a favor, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, at least rate it. Even if you didn't like it, rate it. If you have any questions about what I've done, drop them in the comment section. I'd be more than happy to answer them for you. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please subscribe to the channel and then click the little notification bell. That way every time I post a new video, you'll get a notification. And if you know anybody who these videos might help or you think might like them, please share them with them. I would really appreciate it. You guys have a nice day. Don't be afraid to get out there, get your hands dirty. You might just have a little fun doing it.